everything is working properly on the Dodge Charger. Holy moly. I think about 2 years ago, I started working on the suspension on this car. I was changing out everything basically. So right now it has probably the equivalent of an RT suspension on it. And let me just tell you, it is wonderful, super comfortable, super quiet. I can't believe the difference between when I got the car and now. When I got the car, it literally felt like there was no suspension at all. No springs, no shocks, no struts, nothing. It just felt like concrete, rough, and I was like, how could you ever ride in this thing for very long without just aching? And so I went ahead and changed everything out. Well, the problem was I changed everything out and I developed a clunk. And obviously I'm smart enough to know when I'm messing with it and it didn't have a clunk and now it has a clunk, the clunk was my fault. So I'm the clunk. I was looking at everything in here, you know, trying to figure it out. I even set up the GoPro under the car, driving around, and I just could not figure it out. Well, there are 2 bolts and they're covered up. There's one there and then there's one in the back you can't even see, and that's the same on both sides. And they are an absolute bear to get to. I mean, I don't think you could put a torque wrench on it to save your life. So anyway, after replacing the lower control arms a second time, thinking that that was the problem, and it didn't go away. I don't know what made me think to check those, but I tightened them down and the clunk went away. I could not believe it. I mean, literally, I don't know how many months I sat trying to figure this stuff out. I spent so many hours on the suspension, I never even uploaded the video because it's just downright frustrating. I mean, I started it with hand tools, and let me tell you, do not do suspension work with hand tools. Gets you an impact. Even like this Popo Man, it is a game changer. It fits into places that the big ones don't fit into. Like if you have a corded one, or even some of the air ones, they just won't fit. This is nice and small, it gets in, and it makes everything so much easier. I mean, you literally go and nuts and bolts come off instead of with a socket wrench. So I'll post up some of the videos of me just about ready to fall apart myself, snap in half or something, trying to pull on the socket wrenches, and stuff is not working. And then like a miracle, we get the impact wrench and boop, and stuff comes off. So again, suspension work, impact wrench, or don't bother. It's too frustrating. I mean, you see what's happened to my hair. I lost all my hair just because of the suspension on this car. But let me tell you now, it is butter smooth. Oh my God, I love riding in it now. It is a total game changer. I wish I'd have done it on day one when I got the car. And now that I know how to do it, it's not such a daunting task. But I'm gonna tell you, before I started this and during, especially like I said with the hand tools, I was ready to just set the car on fire and quit. I mean, I've never been so frustrated on a project before, and I lost count of the hours. I easily spent 50 or more hours working on the suspension on this. I'm not exaggerating on that at all. I would jack up the car, lower the car, jack up the car, lower the car, tighten this, loosen this, replace this. I couldn't figure it out. And then, oh, it's just 4 loose bolts basically, and oh, now it's perfect. I had one more lingering problem, and that was that this worked, this worked, this did not work at all. And this would work like if you put it over here, left the car parked for a long time, the next time you drove it you might have heat. However, if you did this, you still had heat. And so it would basically switch when it was parked for long enough, but you didn't have any kind of control on the fly. So I'm a logical guy. The car sat for a long time, and then the problem just happened while sitting. So using my logic, I thought, you know what? Those little activators that switch it from hot to cold or change the direction must have froze up just from sitting. Maybe, the car's a 2010, so they're probably the original things. The lubrication inside them was probably dried up, whatever. So went ahead and replaced those. Same problem. Unfortunately for me, this was the problem. So this is like a $200 to $300 part, but I replaced it and boom, instantly repaired. So knock on wood, right now everything is working perfectly on this car. It starts up, it shifts great, it drives great, it is so smooth, butter smooth. Climate controls work perfectly. You want air, you want heat, you want defrost, whatever, they all work. So I'm gonna start driving it more as a daily driver. I mean, it is, I have to say, kind of fun to drive. I know it's rated at 368 horsepower. I'm thinking closer to 400. I mean, it just gets up and goes. Sometimes it's a little bit scary how quickly it will get up and go when you're not even trying to. So, hopefully I won't get any speeding tickets with it. Certainly will always love my Crown Vics. They're not going anywhere. They're still my #1 favorite car, best bang for the buck, all that stuff. Super reliable, no plans on selling them ever. This one I probably will sell at some point. Just want to get a little driving out of it, have a little fun with it before I do. And who knows, I mean, the market right now is so crazy. Like, I'd like to get about $12,000 for it. If somebody offered me that, I'd take it. But I talked to other people and they're like, oh no, you'd be lucky to get 6 for it. So who knows? But I'm not letting it go for 6. It's worth me keeping it for that little. But for 12, I probably would let it go and then try to find me another Charger at some point. Because let's face it, I like buying these old cop cars and fixing them up and making them super nice. I enjoy it.